Hey everyone, welcome back to another video review, Social Distancing Edition. Today we are going to be giving the new Silverado its first at-home oil change. At around 4,500 miles, I used my one free change from GM, but now with over 5,500 miles on that oil change and needing a project to break the monotony of working/sheltering at home, crawling under a vehicle and getting dirty sounds like the perfect change of pace. I personally love doing as much of my own maintenance on my truck as possible. Obviously, it's cheaper to DIY, but taking care of your own stuff gives you a much better understanding of your truck, and you learn a lot about vehicles and their systems in the process. Plus, you know exactly what has been done to your truck and that it was done right. In high school, I worked at an instant oil change service center, and I changed the oil on my '07 Silverado every 3,000 miles for 9 years. I plan on continuing that tradition with my new truck, but not quite at that interval. A lot has changed for the 5.3 and the 6.2 liter V8s over the last decade. Let's get started. We will start by going over the supplies and tools you will need. Remember that I have the 5.3 liter V8 with the dynamic fuel management variant of cylinder deactivation, so be sure to find out what exact engine you have and check your owner's manual for specifics on oil quantities and viscosity grades. My truck requires a whopping 8 quarts of 0W20 weight engine oil that meets the Dexos 1 specification. The 0W20 weight refers to the viscosity or thickness of the oil at cold and at running temperatures. Basically, the lower the numbers, the thinner the oil is. My '07 Silverado required 6 quarts of 5W30, which means it was a thicker oil designed to thin out and flow better at higher temperatures compared to the new truck. With the oil thicknesses not needing to start so high, GM is making their engines run cooler and thusly require a less thick oil to keep parts lubricated, and thinner oil enables a more efficient engine. Also working towards that efficiency is that Dexos 1 specification. The Dexos 1 was created by GM to ensure oil meets the right requirements for their engine designs. It's pretty easy to find that label on full synthetic and even synthetic blends, but I haven't seen it on conventional oil yet. However, if I'm planning on following the truck's oil life indicator and going past 5,000 miles per oil change, then investing in the high quality full synthetic oil is the smart option when aiming for long engine life. When buying your own oil at an auto parts dealer, it usually pays to find a bundle deal with the brand of engine oil you want. Because I needed 8 quarts of oil, I elected to use the 5-quart promotion twice. I'll be left with 2 quarts of oil for my next oil change and a filter, which gives me more buying options next time I look for a deal on oil change supplies. Doing the math here, this full synthetic oil change will cost me $54.60 for 8 quarts of oil and 1 filter. I called my local Chevy dealer and they quoted me $100 if I wanted an oil change with name brand oil like the one I'm using. That's crazy for how easy this is, and how often you will be overpaying during the life of ownership of your truck. The other supplies are pretty simple. The wrench size for the engine oil drain plug is 15 millimeters, but the drain plug in the new Silverados can also be removed with a Torx bit. I skipped a generation with my '07, so maybe this isn't all that new, but I was so excited to try it out that I searched everywhere to find a T45 Torx bit that would fit onto a socket wrench to try it out. Most Torx sets I had laying around had a T40 as their largest size, but as you can see here, the T45 is a much better fit. Obviously, the wrench is still a viable option, but I had to try it out. Honestly, I would recommend not using power tools for this. Your drain plug shouldn't be all that tight, and threading that plug back in with a power tool makes it easier to strip the metal threads on the drain plug, or worse, the threads on the oil pan. A manual wrench or socket is the better way to go, but I need an excuse to try out some new tools. You will also need a tool to remove the oil filter. I recommend using a strap wrench similar to this one, but this claw tool would also work with where our filter is positioned. I would advise against using an adjustable pliers. If you crush or puncture your filter and fail to get it off, you won't be able to drive your truck anymore until you do get that filter replaced. I never use an adjustable wrench unless it's a last resort. The last things you will need are a rag or two, a catch pan for the oil capable of holding at least 8 quarts, and an optional floor creeper. A funnel is a good call as well. Spilling oil on your engine stinks. Literally, It stings, and possibly smokes. Once you have everything you need, you'll need to get your vehicle up in the air somehow. I like using these ramps. I put the truck in four-wheel low so it doesn't slip, and the low gear allows me to crawl up the ramps nice and slow. I also put the e-brake on when I'm done so the truck doesn't get any ideas about moving while I'm underneath it. It's also a good idea to turn the truck on for a minute or two before changing the oil. The purpose of an oil change is not only replace the oil, but to remove all of the dirt, metal shavings, or whatever the oil has picked up over time. That kind of stuff can settle at the bottom of the oil pan, so it's better to have them stirred up in the oil so they drain out with it. Running the engine too long will create a lot of burning hot surfaces where you will want to work. Not to mention the hot oil you're likely to get on your hands during this process. Once the engine is off and you're under the vehicle, get your catch can in position and pull the drain plug. Safety glasses are a great idea here since gravity and splashes are working against you at this angle. I learned pretty quick that my new power ratchet doesn't function like an impact, but still makes for a pretty good regular wrench. A little overpriced, bulky, and heavy for what I'm using it for, but that's the price you pay to look cool. If you've spent any time underneath a vehicle changing oil, you will have to admit that GM finally thought of us when they laid out the location for the drain plug and filter. My last truck had skid plates and cross supports in the way that always caught the flow of the draining oil, making a mess on the ground and on the truck. The oil being directed straight down and the filter being easily accessible with this strap wrench reassures me that the many oil change I will do over the life of the ownership of this truck are going to be a cakewalk compared to other vehicles I work on. My wife's Kia Sorento makes me remove over a dozen bolts just to remove a flimsy belly pan in order to change the oil. What a huge waste of time every time I get to do that. After removing the oil filter, it is important to check for the old filter gasket. It's not uncommon for these to stick onto your vehicle when you remove the filter. Putting the new filter gasket on top of the old one will not seal correctly, and you'll have a mess on your hands when you start your engine after the oil change. Once you ensure the old gasket is not on your vehicle, you can prep the new filter for installation. Take some fresh oil and lubricate the new gasket. This will create an oil-tight seal when you tighten it onto your vehicle. Smaller oil filters like this one do not need to be pre-filled. Larger diesel engines often require you to fill their filters with fresh oil before you install them. I've seen some filters large enough to require about a quart of oil in them. This little guy won't take any time for the engine to fill. I always spin and tighten the new filter by hand. Tightening the filter with a strap wrench can over-tighten the filter, making it impossible to remove next time you change your oil. By now, your engine oil should be good and drained. Make sure the plug threads in easily the entire way before tightening it with that 15 mil wrench. I've always used snug with a standard wrench as my torque setting, but after searching online while editing this video, I was only able to come up with 18 foot-pounds of torque on the previous generation's plug. So that's up to you if you want to look more into that. With everything underneath buttoned up and wiped down, we can start pouring in the new oil. I pulled the dipstick out a bit to allow for a place for air to escape. 8 quarts is a lot of volume to displace. I love these new Valvoline jugs. They added an air path to prevent the jug from gurgling, so it pours so fast that next time I'm going to need a larger funnel. I'm not going to put in the full 8 quarts initially. I will stop around a half quart shy and check the oil level when the truck is off the ramps and is on level ground. There will always be some residual oil in the engine after the change, so you might not need the full 8 quarts. It's also important to know that waiting for the oil to settle at the bottom of the oil pan for a few minutes will affect the reading of the dipstick, so be patient during this step. Maybe spend some time putting some tools away to wait for an accurate reading. I did determine that I need the full 8 quarts for this change, but I would be really hesitant to ever put more than 8 quarts in until I was sure it's still low. It's easy to put a little more in. Taking extra oil out requires crawling back underneath and pulling the drain plug for a little while, but running your engine over full is a major concern. All that extra oil puts more pressure on your entire system and can cause damage to your vehicle. After about 8 quarts and a few minutes of wait time, I am right in that cross-hatch section of the dipstick. Anywhere in that range is perfect and you can stop there. If you haven't yet, start your truck back up and look underneath to make sure the new filter and drain plug are not leaking oil. The last thing to do is to reset the oil life meter. It's typical for people to aim for a mileage number to hit for oil changes, but the Silverado's computer actually accounts for your driving habits and time between oil changes. According to the manual, the truck will give you a 600-mile warning when it determines you need a change. I was still at 20% after about 5,500 miles, so another 1,000 miles would have easily been in the truck's recommendation. I used to religiously change my last truck's oil every 3,000 miles. The oil always came out looking pretty dark, so I never doubted my decision. However, with this being a 12-year newer engine, 8 quarts of oil to displace the worn out oil, and oil now being full synthetic, I think 6 to 7,000 miles is very reasonable based on my driving habits. We will see if I change my opinion after I see the oil during the next change. Lastly, be sure to properly recycle your used oil and filter. I believe most places you buy oil from will take the used oil and filter, but I will put a link in the description for a recycling center locator. Thanks for watching this video, everyone. Let me know in the comments if you have any other tips you would like to share with the group. I make videos about all my mods and projects, so hit that subscribe button so you can follow my channel. Thanks again, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.